Hey, Carrie.
Hello.
Hey, David.
There we go.
Hi, Sherry.
Oh, well, that's good. At least we're here.
Michelle will be coming in.
Right. There we go. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a interesting situation at the moment because I've just been called in to temporarily manage our Australian Space Discovery Centre for the next week and a half while the normal manager is on leave, and normally the people who would be backing him up, both of them are off on extended sick leave.
Oh, no.
And I used to work.
So you're the lucky one that drew the short straw.
I'm the bunny, yeah. Well, I used to work in the Discovery Centre.
Oh, nice.
A few years back. So I'm kind of the only other person around down here that actually has the centre experience.
So where is it located?
It's in the agency headquarters building.
Okay.
So like they're on the Discovery Centre's on the ground floor to be obviously easily accessible to the public.
Right.
And then
right.
we're actually up on the headquarters offices are up
Okay.
on the third floor.
Right.
So
I think I was familiar with something that was over in New South Wales at
probably
yeah.
the Powerhouse in Sydney.
Yeah, the
or
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Powerhouse. Yeah. Museum.
Well,
yeah.
I used to be their curator of space technology. I was there for 31 years.
Yeah. Oh my
So
goodness.
if you saw the space exhibition there, that was my baby.
Well, they had the Mars yard, right?
Yeah, well that was another one of my babies.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Partially my baby, the Mars yard, but yeah, I'm glad you saw that. That was a really good program, actually.
Well, we were partnered with them for a while. I haven't physically been there, but we did a lot of back and forth and looking at the setup that they had and whatnot with the rovers that were drivable.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, that would have
online.
been, yeah. Well, because we started that program back in 2009. Carol Oliver was probably who you were dealing with
Carol
more
is the one.
directly.
Yeah, that was the person I was working with was Carol.
Yeah, because she was actually at UNSW, but then I was the powerhouse side of that.
Well,
that
I wish we'd
equation,
crossed
that
paths
combination.
then. Yeah.
Oh well, we've done it now, so
Yeah, that's right.
But
Anyway.
yeah, no, that was a really good program. That the museum has actually just closed down for a major renovation, and
cool.
well, a little bit controversially, their Mars yard has been taken out, and it doesn't look like it's going to come back into the new version.
The new space.
And you know, some of us are not happy about that.
Yeah.
Because there was a great program.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot of interesting stuff.
Maybe they want to do a Europa Clipper moon diver or something.
No, unfortunately, no. I suspect the thrust of things is going to move in a very different direction. I won't go into it all. There's a lot of There's a lot of politics and everything behind it that has been moving the museum into a different direction, and I don't think we'll have something like that specifically again in the immediate short term.
Sure.
Or the immediate redevelopment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what do we got? Looks like we've got 5. I think it says 5 or 6 people waiting in the lobby.
Yep, 6 people. Yep. So we are.
There's Michelle.
4 minutes away. Hey, Michelle.
Oh, you're on mute, Michelle.
Yep. All right. Who else do we need? Let's not let the lobby in yet. We'll wait till we're all kind of ready.
David's here, so.
Does everyone just want to share your own screens again?
Yeah, David, do you have the slides for us tonight?
Yes, Sherry, I'll pull them up straight away. One sec.
Okay, just share them when you're ready, and you can do what you'd like, and I can fill in whatever. And Dan will be in the background, but he'll be on if we need him.
Excellent. Sorry, folks, you caught me at the tail end of dinner. I'm going to get a glass of water, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh well, I might share mine while you do that, just so that we know it's all.
Take care.
Working.
Yeah, share your screen.
Yeah, let me just get this up.
I'm getting some random messages from the Mission Academy thing, undeliverable. Don't know what's going on because I haven't been
I
emailing
got a
anything
couple of
there.
those.
Yeah.
Are you seeing anything yet?
Your
no.
screen, your desktop button. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to make sure you were seeing that before I went to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got that now? You see
Yeah.
that?
One is your presenter screen. It's not the. It's got the ones with the slide, next slide there.
Yeah.
View.
Okay. Now this is the thing. I'm not in my normal spot here, so I'm not sure
if you just take that to be presenter with the single, there should be the thing at the bottom. That's presenter still.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the right thing for it.
It should be on that screen. It's the fourth icon in on the bottom of the slide itself. I think we'll take you to the. Nope. No, one more over. That one.
Okay.
Try that.
Nope, that's blacking the slides. Wait a minute.
No, it's not taking it up. No. You're
Hide
right.
present. Hang on. Hide presenter view. I'll try that now.
Yeah. Now the bottom of that screen should give your single, the fourth icon in.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That should boost you to the full screen, I think.
Should do. I don't know.
Of course, it's down under, so it may be opposite, right?
No, it should be doing that, and I don't know why it's not. So let's try that one.
Has it pushed it to the other?
I think it's pushing it off to the other screen.
Yeah.
Oh, you might need to swap screens then.
Yeah. Let me stop
Otherwise,
sharing.
just make the slides smaller and
yeah, let me stop.
Just you can still read everything in the middle.
Stop sharing for a minute. And now I'll. Oh, there's yours up, all right. No, that's fine. Yours are working.
You know yours is up. Okay.
So we'll try this again. There we go.
Oh, that's
there you
it.
go.
Perfect.
Hey,
You got them now? Good-o.
Yep.
All right, so I'll just stop sharing now. Yeah, that was it. As I said, I'm in a totally different office to the one I would normally be in, and the screen setup here is obviously very different to mine.
All right. I might actually, shall I just kick off by sharing my screen?
We've now got 15, 16 in.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, it's just gone the hour or the half hour at your end. Excuse me.
I'm just going to start letting everyone in now.
Is this for the whole hour, Michelle?
45, I think.
45 minutes. Okay.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm in now.
All right, I'm gonna hi everyone, welcome to today. We're just letting a few people into the meeting room. Kerry, Sherry, or David, do you mind just admitting people into the?
Yeah, that's right.
From the lobby, so I can minimize this.
Yeah. Let a few of these in. There we go.
We have around 60 odd people registered today, so quite a big group. So just want to wait, maybe one more minute until we have everyone in the room. All right, we might just kick off now and people can continue to join. So are we already kicked off recording, or does someone want to hit record for me? Just to
I think it is recording, isn't it?
Okay. All right, excellent. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the last of our student webinars today for you to learn more about the Milo Mission Academy. We've got some pretty amazing speakers here online from Kerry from the Australian Space Agency, Cherie, David, Dan, and Michael are all online from the Milo Space Science Institute. So today is really your opportunity to learn more about the Academy. We'll present a bit more about where the Academy could take you, the Academy itself. But please make sure you ask questions if you haven't heard everything that is sitting on your mind. The chat is set up for you to be able to do that, and we'll answer those at the end of the presentations. But feel free just to speak up and raise your hand at the end as well. We really want to be able to answer all questions that you have. We're also available offline afterwards too, if there's anything you want to talk about one-on-one. But my name is Michelle Keegan. I'm the Resources and Space Director at Arose, and I've been working with the team here to bring the Milo Mission Academy out to Australia, New Zealand and Singaporean students over the last year. So really exciting to think this is only 3 weeks away before you'll be able to start to learn more about what's possible to get involved in projects. But I do want to acknowledge the traditional owners on the lands of which we all meet today across Australia and internationally. I'm here in Perth on the lands of the Whadjuk people of the Lunar Nation. As mentioned, we run these webinars because we want you to be able to ask all questions that you might have so that you understand the value that this could have to you, and you can understand the skills that you get. We see that this is a very important academy to help make you job ready. We don't see that this takes the place of what you learn at TAFE or university, or what you may have already learned in the workforce. It really is about complementing all of that to help you be more job ready. I do want to just give a quick overview of Arose. So Arose has partnered with Arizona State Uni to make this possible together with the Australian Space Agency. Arose was actually formed back in 2020. We're an industry-led consortium. We're made up of around 15 different organisations, from research through to space and then other industry partners across sectors such as Rio Tinto and Parenti from the resources sector. We really exist to be able to catalyse the knowledge transfer between the Earth and space domains, really taking advantage of the remote operations capability we have here in Australia and have built and use every day for many, many years. So if we can take that capability to space, improve that and bring that back to Earth, we really think that we can improve operations everywhere. But what's also important to us is also building national capability in the space domain, and so we do that both through the connection to our members and other large projects such as Trailblazer. But the biggest thing here of discussion today is really about how to ensure we can support the build of the future skills and workforce in Australia, New Zealand and beyond. So this is the academy that hopefully you will sign up to, is about not just enabling you to be ready for the space industry, but we equally think that these skills are very transferable across many sectors. So far, we have a number of support partners providing their financial technical support. Those include the Australian Space Agency, iLaunch, SmartSat CRC, Swinburne University, Monash University, and the Space Faculty out of Singapore. We've got well over 190 registrations to date, having launched this opportunity back at the end of October last year. So interest is growing rapidly, not just from students at universities, TAFEs, but also industry is really keen to be able to see this up and running in the region. So that's all I want to be able to share. And I look forward to the discussion today. I'll hand over firstly to Kerry from the Space Agency to talk a bit about where could this academy take you, where are the opportunities. Thanks, Kerry.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for coming along today. Let's just make sure you can see my screen now. Somebody just give me a thumbs up.
It's good.
It's good? Great. Okay, so yes, I'm from the Australian Space Agency, and I hope you're all familiar with us, but for those of you who are not, the agency is effectively the heart of civil space in Australia. Now, we really work across government, industry, and academia so that we can advance Australia's position in the global space economy. Now, we do this in a number of ways, which includes things like regulating Australian space activities, providing policy advice to government, and our international engagement with overseas partners. We provide funding opportunities to the industry, technical expertise and direction to industry, and also advice in these areas to government. And we're involved in a range of initiatives to inspire the nation and to encourage interest in STEM and other areas that are needed to build a future Australian space workforce. Now, we wanted to provide a little bit of insight into why a program like Milo can be important for your future, because the Australian government has a goal to establish about 1.2 million technical jobs or jobs in the tech sector by 2030. And this means that if we're going to grow the sector, the space area needs a really broad range of skills. So technical skills, but not just technical skills. We need operational skills. So people who are good at things like data analysis, remote operations, understanding situational awareness, and so on. We need people with support skills, particularly in the areas of public communication, management, regulation, law, downstream skills like understanding data science and AI and machine learning. We need soft skills, and you can have all those other skills, but you also need to be able to work in teams and collaborate successfully. We need people who understand decision making and problem solving. Now, interestingly, Australia's strengths, you might not think, are actually in things like autonomous robotics and remote sensing, as well as astronomy and astrophysics. But of course, they're only small areas of the overall space sector. Now, recent research over the last couple of years has identified that there are a number of skills shortages that already are and are going to affect the growth of the Australian space sector. So there's a big requirement for people with VET or TAFE-based skills. This is estimated to grow more than 12-fold in the coming, or by the end of the decade. The SmartSat research has identified that there's 106 additional new VET-based skills that are going to be required for the space sector, for example. So that's an enormous increase. And already we know there are shortages in a lot of these technical TAFE or VET-based areas. University-based skill requirements are going to increase by 2.4, roughly 2.5 times, and there'll be at least 28 new skills that are going to be required in that area. So some of these required skills are obviously in the engineering field, space systems engineers, electrical and electronic avionics, mechanical engineers, people who understand, chemical engineers who understand propulsion, computer hardware engineers, and so on. There's a big need for scientists, particularly in atmospheric and space sciences, again in the chemistry of propulsion areas like that, planetary science, Earth observation, a lot of need for IT and data specialists. And again, we can't emphasize too much that we need people in those technical TAFE-related areas of electronics, avionics, automation, assembly, all these areas. So a lot of potential for you if you want to move into the space sector. Excuse me. At the moment, the VET skills with the highest demand are in the manufacturing area, particularly, and these are areas that you can get training through the TAFE system in things like robotics, electronics, communication engineering, systems engineering, and so on. And these, of course, a lot of these skills, or really all of these skills, are also applicable in other areas like the aerospace industry more broadly and in various defence industries. The university skills where there's the biggest demand at the moment are systems engineering, project management, and software skills. And you can actually look at some of the careers resources that the Space Agency has developed on our website, space.gov.au. So if you are interested in exploring a bit more about the possibilities for space skills, you can look up the various things that are linked on our website. As I was saying, vocational skills in particular, these are the things we are really needing to develop a workforce in. But also there's a very broad range of non-STEM skills that are required in the space sector. So, we need things like lawyers and economists, people familiar with the finance and business sectors, whole range of advisory services that all support the growth of the Australian space industry. So even if you don't come out of a specifically STEM technical background right now, the Milo program offers you a really good opportunity to understand the whole space ecosystem and where you can fit into it, even if you're coming from these non-STEM areas that we do actually need in the sector. And I think that's just about the end of my presentation. So let me stop sharing and I'll hand back to Michelle.
All right, thank you, Kerry. And Kerry does have a pretty amazing background in the space sector over many years. I'll hand over to the Milo team now to present more about the Academy. Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Kerry. We really appreciate what ASA is doing, and Rose, we have a lot of respect for that. I have to say that for the folks on this call, you live in a pretty extraordinary time. And what's happening right now is you have many countries, Australia included, that are investing in infrastructure and opportunities for you to participate in space. So if you think about what NASA is doing in terms of the infrastructure for Artemis, they're going to create fuel depots and energy storage facilities. They're going to be creating orbiting satellites that are going to provide GPS signals on the moon. And in your lifetime, you're going to have a chance to participate in opportunities to leverage these bits of infrastructure for new business models, for new ways of doing space science and exploration. And you have an extraordinary capability in Australia with the mining industry, but also many other opportunities. And what's really going to be needed on the moon and in space in general is a growing number of fields, from medicine. So you think about when the astronauts get to the moon, they're going to be 3 days away from an emergency room. So how can you predict health? How can you use data analytics to know 3 days in advance if you have an individual that's going to be in distress? And this is going to challenge all of us to sort of come together and solve some very unique problems. We've seen the challenges of the robotic landers of late. A couple have crashed, a couple have landed. The most recent one, Intuitive Machines, unfortunately landed inside a small crater. They landed on a slope that was about 12 degrees, and they had a bit of a top-heavy system, and it sort of tipped over. So that is a big challenge. How do you avoid a small crater when you're landing a robotic system? These are the challenges you will get to face. You and your peers will have a chance to come up with creative ideas of how do I avoid that crater? How can I create an intelligent landing system that's going to say, yeah, I can't go there. I must progress to another area. And the thing that I really appreciate, you're in for a treat tonight, because Sherry Boonstra, who is the architect of this program, is going to share with you sort of the heart and soul of what this program means. And the reason I resonate so much with this, and I know Kerry has a similar story, is we are first generation graduates of the university, and we come from a place where, or at least I did, where I didn't have any sort of guidance or direction or expectation that I was going to be able to do science, or I was going to be able to get involved in space exploration. And if you had told me at a younger age, David, you may actually have a chance to be involved in space exploration, I probably would not have believed it. And we're here to tell you this is no longer out of reach. The message that Sherry's going to give you is you belong here. We are going to take you down a pathway whereby you will have the opportunity, should you choose, to continue your education or to engage in space. And the purpose of this is to really give you the tools to empower you to pursue the dreams that you might have inside to actually pursue space science and exploration. So I don't want to waste any more time. I do want to encourage you to participate as much as you can and do engage in the chat. Send us an email afterwards if you have any questions. And with that, Sherry, I'm going to turn it to you and I'll share my screen. Thank you.
Well, thanks, David. And we are excited to bring this to Australia, New Zealand, and you know, just thinking about how engaged already your space science agency is, the Australian Space Agency, and partners like Arose that are industry, and looking forward to actually getting into that space economy. And so this is the kind of thing that we hope to bring practice and knowledge and familiarity and workability within your reach in terms of the time that you're going to spend with us in this academy. Next slide, please. So we're really about helping you understand by doing in terms of what you're going to be learning and what you're going to be developing. And as a multidisciplinary team, again, we have people signed up from all different kinds of disciplines and sectors, and we want to be able to use that as practice and understanding about how exploration works. And so the kinds of skills as Carrie and Michelle both talked about are transferable to Earth skills right now. This is not saying only work in space. These are the things: collaboration, communication, working on teams, unpacking problems that you've never seen before. This is not a cookie cutter kind of activity that you're going to be doing. Each team will have their own very unique solutions and science and payloads and things that are going to be unique to your team. And that's the idea, is that we want you to actually be the drivers in terms of what this mission is going to entail. And we will give you the guidance and parameters, and we will have mentors embedded. We will have things that you're not all on your own to where, gee, we have a question. We're going to have a way to support you and make sure that you will finish it and end up successful. And that's the type of model that we've been running now for 6 years in the US on behalf of NASA, and the teams here in the US have been incredibly successful. 90% of the people that start this 12-week, 15-week academy, in your case with the final reviews, end up finishing. And they walk away with a lot of knowledge in terms of how things work. You're going to be bringing in your knowledge that you're getting from your universities and the things that you've learned. For those that are early career people, you're going to be applying that. This is the application that you're going to be actually able to do, which is not always present everywhere in every particular situation. And that's why we want to bring this actual capability to you in this project. Next slide, please. So we do this online, but it is not a sit in the room and just listen to a talking head kind of thing. This is a very interactive session. We bring in subject matter experts, people that have worked within the industry and know what exploration is like. Many of us have been on missions that are actually very similar to what we're going to be doing today with you all in terms of the lunar mission that we have planned. And we will give you, again, the parameters, the requirements in which you're going to build a mission around that. And it goes very much, even though we're not co-located and face-to-face, you are going to get down to really great details in terms of the operability and what it is you're going to be doing at that mission, which gives you a level of experience that not a lot of people have access to. And so this should be something, again, as you're applying for jobs or internships or looking for your next steps, hopefully this will be a clarifying type of experience that will help cement the ideas of things that you want to extend more learning into, or think about as a career pathway. Next slide. So again, this is the program that we're bringing to you that we have the heritage from. We've modified it just slightly to be able to be deployed there in Australia and New Zealand. But right now we're actually coming up on our 10,000th. This summer we'll hit our 10,000th participant in terms of the people that have been through our program. And again, this is a deep program. We're actually now over 935 different colleges and universities in the U.S. And we have an array of everybody that's there. This represents the kind of society that we have in terms of participation. And we really do work to support everyone, no matter where your level that you're coming in from. We will make sure that you can have the support you need. There's lots of different things in which we've created this academy to be successful. Next slide, please. So we have live sessions that we want everyone to come to. And actually, again, this is from the AWST time zone. So you're going to want to think about what your time zone is and then figure out what time those are going to be for you. And that's not evenings. Those are going to be mornings in Australia. And so from 9 to 10:30 AWST, and then whatever your time zone would be. That's an hour and a half long. And those sessions, we do have subject matter experts. We do live Q&A. There's a lot of interaction and things going on in the chat that we keep things really moving along. So the live sessions are really the optimal way that you want to attend. We will have makeup sessions for the people that have to miss, say you have a final or you have a work meeting that you cannot, change out. We're going to make it to where you can write up a summary about that after you watch the video from that session and be able to then understand where we are in terms of the information that was passed on during that session. Again, we're going to have subject matter experts that are really going to give you, just common knowledge about what the lunar surface is like, for instance, how to work on interactive teams. And these are people with a lot of NASA experience that are going to be able to help frame the kinds of things that will be done in exploration. Next slide, please. These are some of the speakers that will be presenting. Dr. Jim Bell has cameras on the big rovers on Mars right now. He's also on an asteroid mission called the Lucy mission, which is going to the Trojan asteroids way out by Jupiter. Once the earliest rocks of the solar system, basically, that we've never seen. And so Jim has deep experience in terms of the kinds of things, including lunar. And Dr. Phil Christensen is another person that has things flying all over the solar system, not only Mars and asteroids, and we're heading to a moon of Jupiter, the Europa, this coming year with one of his instruments on it. Jim Rice, we kind of double his name as Dr. Moon. He is one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met in terms of really understanding what the moon is like. It's helped trained astronauts in terms of the science kinds of things they would be doing, and he's going to be one of our speakers. And then I'll be doing some things also in terms of workforce development. And so we have an array of people. This is not everyone, but this is kind of a core group just to give you an idea. Next slide, please. So these are just a list of the kinds of things we're going to be going over. And again, it's focused on exploration and how it works in terms of the things you'll want to be workable within. And so what we find with our particular participants on the US side is that when they go into interviews, or they want to understand what a PDR, a preliminary design review, really tell me your experience with that. You can actually give them very deep experience because you're going to be creating one. And that's really a technical path, a technical map that is going to say from our idea, back of the envelope idea, all the way through a very detailed design on exactly how we're going to build this. That's where that journey is going to take you. And so you're going to work with your team. You're going to learn a lot of new things. You're going to cross-fertilize between sciences and engineering and computer. And, all the participants that have applied from all the different disciplines are going to have a chance to actually be some of those voices to help create this map. And it's really a rich process in terms of this kind of mission design. But it also reflects a lot of the ways and the workability that you're going to be doing within some of the disciplines here on Earth as well. This is not things that are only good for space. The kinds of ways that you're going to be approaching things, the critical thinking, the problem solving, the communication is huge in terms of what you're going to be able to learn. When we did a needs assessment across our programs, NASA, aerospace, industry, we asked them what their ideal candidate looked like. And what we found was that the number one thing there that's on the top of this list, people need to know how to work on teams to really attack projects that maybe they've never seen, that maybe haven't ever been solved before. Space is really interesting in terms of leading edge kinds of things that, wow, here's all the smartest people in the world sitting in a room, and here's the image that just came down, and we have no idea what that is. That I've been in a room like that where that's happened. So this is kind of really incredibly new territory, but you can also reflect those same practices again for Earth-based jobs. It's really not a stretch in terms of the kinds of workability you're going to have. Next slide, please. So we're going to give you the destination, which is going to be the moon. We will tell you where you're going to be going on the moon. And from that, you're going to distill the science. You're going to distill what the payload's going to be. You're going to distill what the spacecraft that you're going to be operating on is going to look like. You're going to then create what that mission and concept of operations is going to look like, how you're going to do the data analysis. All of those things will be wrapped into this technical document that you're going to be creating. Next slide. So again, we're going to assign you to teams. We do this because it's not something, when you go to work, you're not going to be going to work with just all your friends. This is going to be a professional teaming exercise as well. So we will mix the disciplines, we will stack the team to be successful, and we will make sure that you have the right mix of people to actually be a successful team in terms of delivering this kind of document. So we support you. There's going to be skill modules that you can do if you don't understand something, you want more in-depth information. Those will be individual that you can do. Those will show up on your certificate. So these are the kinds of things that, again, we've supported and seen great success within our original La Space Academy. Next slide. So the design review is going to be, again, the technical document that you're going to be going through. There's a series of panel of reviews early on. You're not going to just be expected to say, okay, here's all your stuff, go, we'll see you at the end. We work with you to look at the progress you're making along the way to make sure that you're staying on target, again, in a professional way, in an industry standard way, and in a science way. We're going to help guide these kinds of process to make sure that you will feel supported and you will actually see the progress moving on with your team. Next, please. So you're going to decide in your teaming module in terms of what your organization chart, your org chart's going to look like. And we will, again, you will have different roles and responsibilities within the team. And these things, again, will move along just the regular, normal, professional way that you're going to end up all the way through. You'll have the chance to learn Siemens NX, which is a industry-based CAD. If you're interested in terms of having something done, and you can actually get certified through this program if you wish to. So Siemens is a partner of ours, and they have offered us the actual design software that's professional grade for the students and the participants within our academies to learn. Next slide, please. So as we always say, and you'll hear this a lot from Dan Garcia, especially our deputy project manager here, you belong here. And put away that imposter syndrome. Don't let somebody say, oh my gosh, no, they'll figure out I'm not smart enough. Then none of that is anything that you should be entertaining right now. You should put all that imposter syndrome in a closet, close the door, and leave it there, because you will be really welcome. And again, there are no stupid questions. We are here to support you to actually upskill in a way that's going to be really additive to your future and your future choices. And with that, I'll stop and we can go ahead and take questions if you'd like.
Yeah. So feel free, put your virtual hand up, and we'll answer your questions if you want to be able to ask that way. Otherwise, the chat will continue to be here. There's actually both chat and Q&A links, so feel free to use whichever. I might just kind of repeat what's already here in the chat, just for those that may not have read the questions, and then we can while you think more. So first question was around whether there is an opportunity to make up some of these sessions.
Yeah, and we did mention that, and so we encourage everybody to attend all the live sessions. This is not something that normally you can talk to us about your situation, but normally this is not something you don't attend any. And the flip side of that is this is not a program in which you just attend the talks and don't do anything with the team. So the team involvement is absolutely critical, and it's going to be one of the things that's everyone has to do.
Yeah.
So we want to just make sure that that's clear as well. I see somebody had asked in the chat too, Michelle, can people who are nearly 18 join the academy? And the answer is no, that you need to be 18. If you're going to be 18 by the start of the academy, that's what we're looking for. Okay. And if not, Michelle, people have asked, is there going to be a follow-on academy? And so we'll be answering that in a minute when she comes back. And then, so if you have a friend that took a gap year, and I see Guang has asked that, Wynn had asked that question. So I think that that's something that they can go ahead and apply for, as long as they have recently been in school and maybe they're checking out for where to go to the next step or get a job. I think, Michelle, that would be applicable because we do have students that have had gap years in the past. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an upper age limit in terms of if you have a master's degree? And I think that, again, just go ahead and apply, give us your information, and we can consider it and get back to you if there's any questions that we have. We'll be doing that quickly.
Yep. I think, for us, we recognize that the space industry potentially wasn't around to the extent that it is today when you may have done your undergrad. And so, that's hence why the reason we really want to make sure that this opportunity is here for professionals that have, completed their degrees, working in industry, might be masters or others. So yeah, I really want to hear from you as well. This is really about making sure we can help with job readiness.
Yeah, and job readiness, that's really that's the exact thing that we're looking for. And our academies don't stay static. As industry needs change or the space, exploration ecosystem changes, we change. Because we want to keep you as somebody who's up to date and ready to be walking into the current situation. And so anyway, I see another question there. Are there any parts of the academy that are in person? And that would be no, because we're spread across incredible geographic areas. And but we do have a lot of our attendees, ending up at conferences, and we have a lot of our people. Again, once you're in the academy and you have questions, you can reach back to us if you'd like. And if there's a question that you wanted a little bit of advice about, we're going to have local folks like Michelle and Carrie that can give you maybe the Australian, New Zealand kind of answers in terms of things. We're working with companies to get them to want to post their latest job offers or internships. We're hoping to have those as a place that will be an asset that you can also look for in terms of making your local connections. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially host, small coffee catch-ups or something, throughout the academy, but we don't want to exclude anyone. By making sure that this is virtual, it means everyone in a remote region and in a city can participate, and so we want to make sure that everyone is included here or has the opportunity. No one should be, left out just because of where they're located. So,
yeah. So Martin has a question there for you, Michelle or Carrie. And thank you, Martin, for your service, first of all.
Yeah, I'll hand back to you, Sherry and David, maybe around the.
Okay. Well, I think again, if you're not sure, apply. And
Yeah.
there's places in there that you're telling about your journey or your interest. That really helps us understand what your mindset is and what you're willing to do. So please do apply. And we can go ahead and put the link in there for the Academy application, David, if you want to put that in while we're looking to make sure that you have it, because space is about everyone with lots of different backgrounds, and the more diverse kinds of mindsets coming in makes that actually even a better project. So we, again, we're about inclusiveness, not exclusiveness. Thank you, Dan.
I was going to
And
say too, I mean, there's a
yeah.
lot of Martin, you may have a whole range of skills that you've picked up, even though you haven't been to university, that are perfectly applicable in the space sector and would be great to bring into the Academy experience.
That's right.
And I think the same goes for anyone online here who is coming out of another industry that is thinking of transferring into the space sector. This is a good opportunity for you to be able to have a look at, what is really going in the space sector and gain some experience, or see how your current experience can then be applicable into the space sector as well.
Well, Carrie and Michelle, maybe you guys could comment on the niches that in your area in the Indo-Pacific is looking for in terms of the special, unique areas of that you are looking to fill for the space industry. What would those be?
At the moment, almost everything.
Yeah. Well, good. There's a big wide group of things that you could do then.
Our industry is small at the moment. We want it to grow. We're encouraging it to grow. And as it grows, Australia already, I'm sorry, I don't know the situation in perhaps New Zealand or other areas, but Australia is already facing a critical shortage of particularly people in the in the STEM sector broadly, but particularly in the TAFE and vet studies, or people with skills in those areas, trade skills. And we have a large submarine program which is going to be starting here over the coming years, that's going to be competing for people with a lot of the same skills. So there's going to be a lot of call, not only in the space sector, but in other parts of the Australian economy. And there are opportunities for other industries to become connected with space, like the mining industry. And I'm sure Michelle would like to sort of talk to how the mining industry and agriculture, a lot of what we think of as adjacent industries that utilise space in different ways, so that, there are opportunities to take space knowledge into those sectors, or bring knowledge from those sectors that can be applied into the space area.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out on resources, and I guess if you think about the Artemis Accord that NASA and the Australian Space Agency have signed, this is about going back to the moon together. As part of the Artemis Accord, the agreement was that Australia brings the key capabilities being remote operations capabilities, and that's what defined the rover as being what we bring. I've talked to quite a few people across very large mining organisations and oil and gas, and they are all very interested in the Mission Academy. As Sherry mentioned, the skills that you come out with are how to work as a team, critical problem solving skills, and this applies, everywhere. We've also presented this to the 13th Brigade here out of Perth, and the Brigadier is very keen to see people in the academy, and so there are a few people from that brigade there. So yeah, really, and as Sherry mentioned, submarines. And the work around submarines is no different, really, if you think about coming together as a team and having this kind of experience on working on a complex project is very important. If you look at the rover program at Arose, the roles that are needed are kind of across everything that Kerry's mentioned, from data science to engineering, communications. Just last week, Fugro out of their mission control room in Perth, shadowed the intuitive machines landing on the moon. That required, you know, a number of different people with different skills. If you look at even the IT support to make sure that the comms are there in place, the build of that mission control centre, let alone the engineers and others with mission control experience. So really the skills are far and wide and can be applied across multiple sectors as you might want to move across them as well. So probably can't reinforce that enough, that this isn't just a space academy. It sets you up well for space and working in the space industry, but it can apply much wider. And the organisations we're working with at Arose across different sectors are very keen to learn from the systems engineering approach and exactly what you'll learn in developing your PDR.
Well, actually, I'll throw in a little example from my own family, in that my father started life as a plumber. He then worked in the shipbuilding industry and did plumbing on submarines. Were he still working, he could be literally doing the plumbing, as in the piping, in fitting out rockets. So there you go. You never know where a skill could actually be, could be applied in sectors
That's
you
right.
may not even think about.
So
we have got. Oh, sorry,
I was just going to say one of the questions that came up earlier was, are there going to be more academies? And if somebody wanted to take one later, what does that look like?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, this is the first time that the Academy has been launched out of the US, across the globe, but first time for Australian New Zealand students. Our goal is to grow participation across Indo-Pacific. With that, there'll be more numbers. At the moment, with the population here, we're looking at just the one academy for this year. We want to make this a real success and have at least one next year, depending on interest, and interest is really only going to grow or determine whether we have one or two each year ongoing. So yeah, I guess if you're joining up, we absolutely want to hear your feedback throughout the academy and beyond. We want you to share more and more. We need to, spread the word around this opportunity and how it can complement your work career, your study that you're doing now or have done. So it really depends on numbers in many ways. But yeah, minimum of one, a maximum of two is what we can say for now.
Okay, and Dan's going to post the deadline for applications in the chat in just a minute. So I know we're getting close to time.
Yeah, sorry, Sherry, it actually does go to the half hour if there are other.
Okay, that's good.
If people are free, should we just quickly run through everything in the chat, or some of these have been.
I think some of them are answering their own questions, which is great.
Yeah, so I think most of my professional experiences in submarines and naval ships, how would that fit in the program? I think, we've mentioned this is applicable everywhere. So yeah, absolutely. Your experience would be amazing to have in here. Is being a first year student good enough? Actually, I'll let you and Sherry and David answer that one.
We do have students that are first year, and it doesn't hurt. Just know that you're going to come in and not have a lot of knowledge, but you're going to be on a multi year team in terms of the people that are going to be farther along than you, and so it's not a problem at all in terms of doing it and actually still getting a lot out of it, even though first year.
And that's also a good real world example. I mean, you could very easily be working on a team with people with more experience than you and less experience than you.
Exactly. So, okay. Any others, Michelle?
I was going to go to the Q&A. I think most things in the chat have been answered. Is there a specific list of skills that aim to be taught through this program, or is that more of a byproduct? I think, we've mentioned, the things outside of the technical area, which is really around the problem solving and teamwork. Is there anything else that you want to restate, Sherry?
That basically it's really the in-demand kinds of job readiness and workforce development skills, communication, collaboration, working with data, working on a multidisciplinary team, virtual teams, And so that's another huge plus that I mean, when we are in the space business, we are working across countries, we're working across continents, having that capability of knowing how to work on a virtual team to do the kinds of things we do in solving problems and creating different kinds of concepts like this is really important. So those are you will see the different kinds of skill sets. And again, we will mature these because you're going to be putting them to practice, not just hearing about them. You're going to actually be doing them. And that's where the evidence is going to show within the preliminary design review that your team puts out. That's evidence of what you've done from a zero to a finished product in terms of being ready to then develop. If it were to go to the next steps, what would be happening. So having the evidence showing that you can talk about the experience and what it was like and what your roles were, that's really a big piece that's going to come out of this for you as well.
Time commitment, I think we've outlined 6 to 10 hours a week is so that includes both the 1.5 hour participation
yes
each week, plus the work that you do with your teams outside that.
Yes, and that's one of the things. I mean, our participants here in the U.S. are going to school full time with STEM degrees. Again, we run this to where it could be included and embedded into the your regular day. It may eat up some of your discretionary time that you have, but we see this as an investment in terms of really expanding your opportunities in your careers. It's kind of sweat equity in that respect, in terms of getting this kinds of skills and practice really embedded into your resume and to your capabilities. And that's the thing that people really find. That's why we have a 90% completion rate. That's what people really find useful and wanting to invest this time. I mean, it's not a forever time. It's not years long. It's 15 weeks, and then you have this done. Okay.
It's a pretty important data point on this completion rate. How are the teams organised and work together when it's remote? Are the team sessions organised to be at certain points in the week?
The teams decide when they're going to meet. So they work it out, and there may not be full meetings all the time. Dan, you can remind me how many we have on a team in Australia. I'm thinking it's at least 15. So you have a mix of people that will be also in genres within roles and responsibilities. You may have small tag ups between a few people, not having to get times that the whole team can meet. So we do it just like we do in industry. We do it just like we're on a mission team, where you have tiger teams of different kinds of things that are meeting to move their timeline along with their deliverables and the things they need to progress the mission. So that's how that works. 15 is the plan, is what Mike says. Okay. That's what we're thinking. And that gives you, again, it gives you enough people to be able to get things done in a very timely basis. And the deadlines, and I mean, this is like industry. That's not, for those of you that are in school teams, sometimes the teams kind of come and go and they don't really get serious about things, but this is much more in a professional side, and that's how we treat it. So we have regular deliverables and things like that we'll be working towards, and that's where we want to have you, that job readiness and what the expectations are.
Yeah, I think in any business you get marked on not just what you do but how you do it. And so yeah, our real focus is on you being job ready. I actually believe you'll come out with the skills that you have much better than many people already in the industry, because you're forced to bring diversity of thought, diversity of background into this and enable everyone to participate. So it's going to be amazing. There'll be the teaming mentors from the team out of the US, and then there'll be the technical mentors for you to go to in Australia. So Sheree, you're not alone. There is a lot of support around you, and we encourage people once you're in to ask questions.
Okay.
Answer that one.
A lot of good questions. You all have been really thinking about this, and that's really to be commended.
I think if there is anything that you haven't wanted to write down or raise, then as I mentioned at the beginning, please email us at the Academy. We're more than willing to have one-on-one calls or emails, so please do so. We want you to be as comfortable as you can be to sign up recommend speaking to, those at your university or TAFE if you're there, even at work, to see, what other support you might get, or information they might guide you towards, what to get out of this. So, yeah, use your network and build your network within too.
All right. Dan just posted the email for us, and we posted the application site again. The 16th of March is the deadline. So we're going to be building teams and getting things ready to go with the kickoff on the 21st, right? So
there was a question about sharing the slides. I've said that we can do. I thought we had put them up on the website previously. I can't find them.
yeah,
so
it should be the same. Should be the
we'll make
same
sure.
one. So
yeah,
okay.
We'll make sure we get that.
They'll be on the Rose website, right?
Where do you pay the fee? If you haven't already been given the link for payment, I hope I get
Just
your name
contact
right.
us.
Yeah, just contact us so we can send you the link again. Right, I've always been taught to count to 7.
That's
And
wait
if there's
time. Yes, we want
no more after
wait time.
7.
We did have quite a few people sign up after the last one of these that we did. Quite a few
Yeah.
piled in, and so we're hoping to see some of you take that step. We had somebody this week that's doing incredibly well, and it's one of those earlier students that's now doing an National Academy presentation in the U.S. for his project that he did in this project on the U.S. side, and he said, "I've learned to." The way that I've learned to be more successful is to do what scares me.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling frightened at all, set it aside, put that imposter syndrome away, and just apply.
Yeah.
I think you will enjoy the experience.
The International Aeronautical Congress, or the Olympics of Space, is happening in Australia in 2025.
That's right.
Maybe you will do something in your mission in this academy that inspires you to write a paper for that, and we would love to see a lot of papers in there.
Absolutely. We really want to have a big contingent of Australian papers being offered at the Astronautical Congress next year. So yes, and frankly, even if you don't decide to do this program, but you are working in the sector or something interesting that could be relevant to the space sector, please look ahead to the possibility next year of becoming part of the International Astronautical Congress, because it'll be in Sydney, so you won't have to pay all the travel overseas. And yeah, we really want to bring in a big Australian contingent to take advantage of the networking opportunities that'll provide for you next year.
That's right. The IAC, International Astronautical Congress, is the largest space meeting in the world. And so it's going to be in Sydney, which is really awesome. So we could have an Australian Milo Mission Academy and a New Zealand, your sector. We could have a reunion while we were there, and just tell everybody, whoever's here, we'll meet, and we'll meet during the meeting and be able to see us face to face in terms of seeing everybody, which would be great.
Yep, there we go. Actually, we'll make it mandatory if you sign up. This year, you have to come to the Congress next year.
A lot of time to get funding to get there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
As you can see, we're excited. We hope you're as excited at the end of this. We would love for you to sign up. If it's not the right time for you, we understand. Feel free to share amongst your networks. We love more people to know. But yeah, thank you for your time, and hopefully look forward to seeing you shortly online. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Thanks all.
All right.
See you, Michelle.
Okay, thank you. That was great.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.